there, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Courtney Friel from KTLA. It is my honor and pleasure to virtually welcome law enforcement officers, prosecutors, officials, and esteemed guests to the annual MADD Law Enforcement and Prosecutor Recognition Virtual Awards. This event is designed to recognize the outstanding work of law enforcement professionals in DUI enforcement and prosecutors who work hard to hold these offenders accountable for their actions. Each arrest is a potential life saved, and MADD awards their service as they dedicate their lives to keeping our roads safer. For over 40 years, Mothers Against Drunk Driving has been the nation's leader in an unwavering fight against this 100% preventable crime by changing the apathetic culture surrounding drinking and driving. Since 1980, highway deaths caused by drunk driving crashes have been cut in half. Consequently, this success has created a misconception that drunk driving is no longer a major issue. However, this is not the case. Drunk driving crashes remain a major cause of death and injuries on America's highways, with over 10,000 fatalities and 290,000 injuries annually, all of which are preventable. Here in California, there are just under 1,000 DUI-related deaths annually. Drunk and drug driving comes with a cost, and it is one that robs us of mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, spouses, and friends. With the help of those who want a safer future, in 2006, MADD launched its campaign to eliminate drunk driving to end this danger on American roads. The campaign to eliminate drunk driving will get this nation to 0 deaths through equal parts prevention and invention. Unfortunately, throughout this difficult last year, fatal drunk driving crashes have spiked across the United States, leaving many lives altered forever. MADD continues to provide free services to victims and families of drunk and drugged driving and educational programs to discourage underage drinking. Programs and services are even being offered virtually to maintain and increase awareness and prevention. But MADD cannot do this without the help and support of people like you. And that's why we've created the $5 Challenge. The $5 Challenge is a giving campaign designed to raise additional funds to help victims of DUI crashes. Please join us in the $5 Challenge and the One MADD California Giving Campaign. Funds raised through the One MADD California will go toward the organization's victim services and research-based programs to continue their goal of no more victims. Statewide supporters can donate via phone or online. MADD's mission and focus to create a world of no more victims has not wavered over the years and remains the same today. These tragic deaths and injuries continue to drive our efforts to end drunk driving, help fight drug driving, support the victims of these violent crimes, and prevent underage drinking. I'd like to congratulate all of the honorees: law enforcement officers with impressive DUI arrests, diligent prosecutors who work hard for victims and victim rights, and our strong, passionate volunteers. MADD could not accomplish what we do without your help, so we appreciate all law enforcement, prosecutors, and the community as they are natural partners with us in this effort. At this time, the presentation of colors will be presented by the California Highway Patrol Border Division Honor Guard, and national anthem will be performed by Officer Hope Maxson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
At this time, we would like to present comments from the MADD National President, Mrs. Alex Aute.
Hi, my name is Alex Aute, and I'm the National President of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. It's an honor to congratulate you on this recognition and to say thank you for the work that you do to keep our roads safe from drunk drivers. Some people say that they generally understand the contributions law enforcement make to our communities. Others still will say that while they may not understand, they appreciate the work that you do to keep them and their families safe. I want to tell you that not only do I understand and appreciate it, I'm married to it. My husband, Zach, is a special victims detective in our home of Lexington, Kentucky. In fact, my two giant dogs are named Sheriff and Sergeant. I say this to tell you from the very beginning that when I say thank you and that I understand the work that you do, you know that I live alongside of it every single day. I came to MADD for the same reason many people do. I was run over by a drunk driver when I was 13. On July 2nd, 2010, I was sitting still on a jet ski behind my dad's house on Lake Harrington. There was a 17-foot bass boat coming under a nearby bridge, and I did what I always knew to do. I gave my mom a thumbs up to let her know I saw him coming and I wasn't going to move. The boat was headed towards my mom and my brother. He banked it to the left and never straightened up. The boat hit me from the side going over 60 miles per hour, threw me off the jet ski, went up over the jet ski. I landed face down in the water and the boat came down on top of my body. I sustained, among many other injuries, a severe traumatic brain injury classified as shaken baby syndrome, a broken neck, and the loss of my right leg. The man who ran me over had multiple prior DUI offenses. 2.5 hours after the crash, he was 3 times over legal limit. I knew soon after the crash that I wanted to be the last little girl that this ever happened to. 11 years later, I know that I wasn't. I also know that because of law enforcement efforts to get drunk drivers off of our roads and waterways, more little girls make it home. As I said before, I married into law enforcement life. I understand what it is that you do and the sacrifices that you and your families make. I also know the frustration of diligently doing your job when the laws don't always treat drunk driving like the dangerous and deadly crime that it is. I appreciate how hard it is for law enforcement to continue to take people off the water and the roads, only to see them go out and do it again. Even when it's frustrating, please know that every single moment a drunk driver spends off of our roads and off of our waterways was a moment that might have saved someone's life. Many of you see victims of drunk driving on the absolute worst days of their lives, and you don't get to see what happens after. I'm what happens after. I'm the kid you saved because you took a drunk driver off the road or off the water. Maybe you can't imagine the lives that people will lead because you were there, but I can. I hope that by hearing my story, you have the same perspective that my husband has. There's a reason we have to get drunk drivers off the roads, and it's not just because it's our job. Congratulations again on your much-deserved recognition, and thank you so much for having me.
A welcome now from California State Executive Director Patricia Riera.
Greetings and welcome to our 2021 Virtual Law Enforcement Recognition event. We are so happy you could join us. My name is Patricia Riera. I am the California State Executive Director for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. MADD California wishes to take this time to acknowledge distinguished individuals who change lives one day at a time. Your experiences, expertise, and dedication are invaluable resources to our business model. Therefore, it is MADD California's honor to host and recognize you today. Please accept this recognition as a small token of our appreciation for the risk you take daily to keep our roads safe from impaired drivers, and for the laws you enforce on behalf of victims as prosecutors. You are truly an essential and valuable part of the MADD family. Last year, 2020, was a very difficult year for MADD California, as I'm sure it was for most. We bravely dealt with the COVID-19 pandemic, and then we were saddened when millions of people around the country took to the streets protesting police violence and racial inequality after the death of George Floyd. The alleged accusations of racial disparities by some law enforcement disturbed us most because we know how closely MADD California works with law enforcement on a daily basis. We are always alarmed when we hear allegations of officers acting outside the policies set by agencies we work with. MADD does not condone the use of unnecessary force in any situation and counts on leadership within our partner agencies to handle these situations fairly and justly. However, despite the challenges presented in 2020, MADD staff and volunteers delivered MADD's core programs and services virtually throughout California, all of which are free of charge to the public. These volunteer-based programs include, but are not limited to, victim advocacy, underage drinking prevention programs, community engagement, and the campaign to eliminate drunk and drugged driving. At its core, MADD provides services to victims and families of drunk and drug driving crashes at no cost, successfully lobby to support stronger drunk driving laws, deliver underage drinking prevention strategies to thousands of teens, and we are single-handedly responsible for changing the apathetic culture surrounding drinking and driving. Impaired driving continues to be a leading cause of deaths and injuries in our country. We applaud you today and throughout the year for your dedication to making our roadways safer. To all the MADD California honorees, congratulations, and thank you for all you do for MADD.
Next, opening remarks from Georgina Avilés, Senior Program Manager for MADD Southern California.
Thank you for joining MADD's 2021 Law Enforcement and Prosecutor Recognition Virtual Awards. My name is Georgina Avilés, Senior Program Manager for MADD Southern California. Today we are here to honor heroes, hardworking men and women of law enforcement and prosecutors who work diligently to remove drunk and drug drivers from our roadways. Despite the recent pandemic, we at MADD want to make sure we thank you, and it's our pleasure to honor you. This past year, fatal crashes involving alcohol were up 9% compared to 2019, even as vehicle miles traveled fell by 13%. This is according to preliminary estimates of crash fatalities involving all road users released by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Without the vital work you do, these numbers would be much more devastating. Law enforcement represents the first prong of our campaign to end drunk driving, the high visibility of law enforcement. The number of arrests reported in 2020 from Los Angeles, Orange, San Bernardino, Riverside, and the Tri-Counties area were a combined total of 22,189. So once again, thank you for all your efforts to keep our roadways safe. Sadly, drunk and drug driving continues to be a leading cause of death and injuries on our nation's roadways. MADD will not stop until drunk driving does, because that one empty seat at the table is just one too many. With your help, we will arrive at our destination of 0 deaths and injuries. Together, we will see our dream come true of no more victims. If you or someone you know has been impacted by a drunk or drug driver, contact MADD's 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MADD-HELP. At this time, I would like to thank officers and deputies from the following police departments in the local city of Downey, Los Angeles, Rialto, Oxnard, San Bernardino, Palm Springs, Port Hueneme, Ventura, the California Highway Patrol, and the Sheriff's Department out of the County of Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, San Bernardino, and Ventura. These departments, along with our local DAs and prosecutors, are actively volunteering at MADD victim impact panels as guest speakers, along with collaborating with MADD's underage drinking prevention workshops and MADD's signature event, Walk Like MADD, in their local community. I would like to take a moment to thank MADD Southern California sponsors, Uber, Association for Los Angeles Deputy Sheriffs, and the Automobile Club of Southern California. On behalf of MADD, congratulations to all the honorees. We could not accomplish what we do without law enforcement and the prosecutors who try these cases. Your efforts validate that you care about our vision to eliminate drunk and drug driving crashes. It is our honor to acknowledge your efforts in saving lives, and we are looking forward to seeing you at next year's event. Thank you.
And now, Todd Spitzer with the Orange County District Attorney's Office would like to share a few words.
Suffering the loss of a loved one is tragic, but that tragedy is exacerbated by the pure randomness of losing a loved one to drunk or drug driving. Hello, I'm Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer, and we're here today to honor our brothers and sisters in law enforcement and your dedication and commitment to stopping drunk and drug drivers. Drunk and drug drivers destroy lives, but by taking impaired drivers off of our roads, you are saving lives. You're making birthday celebrations and Christmas mornings possible for people who may never know that their lives were in danger. If you hadn't stepped in and pulled that drunk driver off of the road, they may have hit that young mother on her way to home from work, or that grandfather on his way to see his grandchildren, or a child on their way to school. But you were there, and you stepped in. Every drunk and drug driver you take off the road represents another life, or lives that get to be lived, another life that gets to be celebrated, another life saved. Your resolve and your determination by its very nature honors the memory of those killed by drunk and drug drivers, and it inspires others to join the fight against impaired driving. My close friend, confidant, and chief of staff, Steve Ambries, was killed in 2006 by a woman who was driving while high on drugs. My own son, Justin, was hit by a drunk driver while I was a member of the Orange County Board of Supervisors. That was the worst moment of my life, not knowing how seriously injured or if he was really injured as I rushed to get him. The vehicle was totaled when I got there, but thankfully, my son was not seriously injured. It could have been far worse. I know that my son was lucky. Our family was lucky. To honor the memory of my close friend Steve Ambries, as a member of the state legislature, I authored the Steve Ambries Act, which requires anyone getting a state license to drive to acknowledge that if they drive while impaired and they kill, they can be charged with murder. That's a Watson advisement. I did this not because I want to prosecute people for murder. I did this because I wanted to stop people from ever getting behind the wheel of a vehicle while drunk or high. I did it because I wanted to save lives like you do. I wanted to save grandmothers and aunts and uncles and cousins and daughters and sons, just like you do. If just one less person got behind the wheel as a result of that law, maybe, just maybe, it would save a life or two or three. Orange County is facing a crisis when it comes to drivers driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol or both. Driving under the influence of drugs is up 40%, and felony driving under the influence filings are up 25% over last year. That's unacceptable. In response, I created the Task Force for the Prevention of Impaired Driving Fatalities in conjunction with law enforcement, MADD, and the Office of Traffic Safety to address this disturbing trend. And as a result, more DUI arrestees are being warned by law enforcement about the potential that they could face murder charges if they drive drunk or high and kill someone. The Orange County District Attorney's Office is a statewide leader in training for the Office of Traffic Safety. We continue to provide comprehensive and effective programs to support our police officers in combating drunk and drug driving across California. With our training programs and vigorous prosecution against drunk drivers, we are sending a strong message to the community that we will not tolerate these deadly choices. But as hard as we are working, people are still dying and getting seriously injured. And I am frustrated. I'm frustrated by so many people getting killed by drunk drivers. And I know you're frustrated too. I need your help. We need to work to strengthen impaired driving penalties. We have to make sure law enforcement has all the tools available to prosecute these crimes to the fullest extent of the law. You're not alone in your fight to stop people from drinking and driving and getting high and driving. We're here fighting with you every step of the way. Together we can help make our roads safer for Californians and help save lives. And I know at this time, while you feel as a law enforcement officer that you are being attacked from all sides, I want you to know I'm here to fight for you. I'm here to protect you. And I'm here to make sure that you continue to make our streets safe. So God bless you, and thank you for continuing this fight.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Sheriff Don Barnes with the Orange County Sheriff's Department.
Drunk and drug driving crashes are a major cause of death and injuries on our streets. They rob us of loved ones, friends, and colleagues, and they are 100% preventable. MADD has a vision for a nation without drunk or drugged driving. To achieve this, we as a community must hold each other accountable. The Orange County Sheriff's Department is proud to partner with MADD in their efforts to end drunk and drugged driving. As law enforcement officers, we see all too often the devastation caused by impaired driving. Thank you to MADD Southern California for once again recognizing Orange County law enforcement officers for their commitment to DUI enforcement. We know each arrest can be a life saved.
Thank you so much to all our city officials. We are honored to have your county stand with MADD. Now we will tell you a story that MADD knows all too well. We begin with our mission moment and the reason why MADD was founded and exists today, to honor and serve victims and survivors. Introducing Mr. and Mrs. Johnston as the honorary victim speaker.
Hello, my name is Mike Johnston. I'm the father of Michael Johnston Jr.
Hi, I'm Betty Johnston, the mother to Michael Dean Johnston Jr.
Michael grew up in Orange County and graduated from Brea High School. Upon completing high school, he went to San Francisco and got a degree as a graphic arts designer. He came back to Orange County and was working in the restaurant business. He was also working as a stuntman. Michael had plans to propose to his longtime sweetheart, but never got the chance because of this crash.
On January 5th, 2018, our son Michael and a friend were coming home from the restaurant when they were hit by the drunk driver. Michael was on the 55 and the 5 freeway in the carpool lane. The drunk driver was on the freeway going against traffic, doing over 120 miles an hour. Michael was only 33 years old and was killed instantly. He is also our only son. His friend was seriously hurt. We'd like to thank the California Highway Patrol officers and also the police officers who are trying so desperately to stop the drunk driver as they saw him going down the freeway against traffic. We'd also like to thank the officers who testified at the hearing and also at the trial. And the California Orange County DA's office, Brian O'Rourke and Esmeralda, who is the victim court advocate, and also Norma Martinez from MADD, who's also an advocate. To thank them, we really appreciate you guys for helping us through the pre-trials and the trials. Brian was able to get a conviction of second-degree murder, and the drunk driver is now serving 22 years to life sentence. Everybody in law enforcement, we'd like to give a great big thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mike and Betty, for sharing your family's tragic story. As we transition to our next presenters, please note by donating to #OneMaddCalifornia, you can help MADD create a future with no more victims. Currently, critical funds are needed to continue MADD California's underage drinking prevention programs and victim services. Statewide supporters can participate in the $5 challenge and donate via phone or online. At this time, we will begin our awards ceremony. For many victims of DUI crashes, their experience in court is oftentimes their first encounter with the criminal justice system. The fear of the unknown, combined with the reality of their loss and devastation, can be overwhelming. However, there is a team dedicated in bringing justice to many DUI cases, and it is my pleasure to announce this year's Prosecutor of the Year award. For the Orange County Award, the honor goes to the 2020-2021 Traffic Safety Resource Prosecutors, Hoon Chang, Charles Henniger, Jessica Lay, Andrea Shug, and Orange County District Attorney's vertical DUI prosecutors, Gagangelo Bath, Michael Briante, Caitlin Harrington, Bijan Mustafi, Mike Payon, John Sinclair, George Smith, and Austin Young. A round of virtual applause for this year's Prosecutor of the Year recipients. For officers whose official responsibilities include so much more than DUI enforcement, arresting dangerous drivers with such consistency is remarkable, and diligent prosecutors who work hard for victims and victim rights. For our first awards, we have the Deuce awardees with up to 49 DUI arrests. A round of virtual applause for all our Deuce awardees here shown on the screen. Up next, we have the MADD Awards allotted to those law enforcement officers with 50 to 99 DUI arrests. A round of virtual applause for our MADD awardees shown on the screen. Next, we have our Century Award recipients. These were officers with 100 or more DUI arrests in 2020. Please give a virtual round of applause for our Century Award winners.
Orange PD, Officer Manuel Landeros, 147 arrests. Buena Park PD, Officer Kevin Lindsay, 101 arrests. OCSD, Laguna Niguel, Deputy Joshua McAuliffe, 108 arrests. Westminster PD, Officer Claire Train, 129 arrests.
We will now award the top arresting officers from each department. A round of virtual applause for our top arresting officers from each department here shown on the screen.
Anaheim PD, Officer Tony Karg, 58 arrests. Brea PD, Officer Matthew Windling, 18 arrests. Buena Park PD, Officer Kevin Lindsay, 101 arrests. California State Parks, Officer Stephen Wolf, 17 arrests. CHP, San Juan Capistrano, Officer Patrick Barraza, 89 arrests. Santa Ana, Officer Nicholas McCowan, 70 arrests. Westminster, Officer Joseph Ramirez, 49 arrests. Cypress PD, Officer Angus Yu, 6 arrests. Fullerton PD, Corporal Scott Flynn, 31 arrests. Garden Grove PD, Officer Thomas Reed, 26 arrests. Huntington Beach PD, Officer Damian Velasco, 39 arrests. Irvine PD, Officer Jacob Baskin, 85 arrests. La Habra PD, Officer Kyle Ferris, 34 arrests. Laguna Beach PD, Officer Priscilla Angeloni, 72 arrests. Los Alamitos PD, Officer Evan Flynn, 8 arrests. Newport PD, Officer Neil Schuster, 57 arrests. OCSD, Aliso Viejo, Deputy David Yanezi, 28 arrests. Court Ops, Deputy Elliot Rubright, 25 arrests. Dana Point, Deputy John Miller, 28 arrests. Laguna Hills, Deputy Reina Rivera, 15 arrests. Laguna Niguel, Deputy Joshua McAuliffe, 108 arrests.
It is now time to honor the top arresting officer from Orange County. Please join me in virtually applauding and viewing comments from our top arresting officer. With 147 DUI arrests, Officer Manuel Landeros with the Orange Police Department.
Hi everyone, my name is Manny Landeros and I am a police officer for the Orange Police Department. In the year 2020, I was assigned as the department's DUI enforcement officer. As a result of my efforts in DUI enforcement last year, I am proud to say I've been recognized by Mothers Against Drug Driving as being the top arresting officer for DUI-related arrests in Orange County. My passion for DUI enforcement came early on in my career. I became satisfied with taking impaired drivers off of the road to create a better and safer community for the residents and visitors to the city of Orange. I continued to master my knowledge pertaining to DUI enforcement and completed multiple courses and ultimately became a drug recognition expert. My future goal is to become an instructor and pass along my experience and knowledge to future officers interested in DUI enforcement. I have worked several DUI and driver's license checkpoints where volunteers from MADD have assisted and been a part of. Citizens around the county and throughout our nation should be proud of the partnerships MADD has established to further their goal of ending impaired driving. I and we should all stand with One MADD California to end impaired driving.
Congratulations to all the honorees. And we have one special thank you from MADD California victims and volunteers.
Thank you, law enforcement, for all of your hard work and dedication to eliminating drunk driving. For victims like myself, I appreciate all of your hard work and keep the world a safer place.
Enforcement, today is your day. Although I know and I recognize that one day is not enough to thank you all for your hard work and dedication that you provide on the front lines, I want you to know that we recognize that behind that badge is a person with a huge heart. For me, the moment that I lived may have ruined my past, still lives in my present, but I refuse to let it touch our future. This land is my land, this land is your land, and I thank you and honor each and every one of you for risking your lives, especially throughout these challenging times. With that being said, congratulations to you all, and I hope we can meet again. Bye.
We'd like to say a great big thank you to law enforcement and to the prosecutors for helping keeping our highways and roads safe. Thank you.
In memory of Chunky and Sonia, we would like to thank you all for your continued dedication to help keep impaired drivers off the road.
For the last decade, I have tried to do my part as a MADD victim impact speaker. I am so grateful to law enforcement for doing more than their part, patrolling roadways at their own peril to keep us safe from drunk drivers. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lily, founder of Street Racing Kills. I just want to thank today all the officers and district attorneys for making it a better world and better, safer for everyone. Thank you so much for all you do as advocates for safe streets and as volunteers as well, and just regular people, Angelinos here, walking on our streets, driving every day. You really are making a difference. So again, thank you, officers and district attorneys, for making our world a better place to live in. Thank you. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is all the awards we have for today. We want to thank all of our sponsors, supporters, volunteers, MADD staff, community leaders, and most of all, law enforcement officers and prosecutors who protect our roadways day in and day out. We created a social movement of One MADD California. It's a tribute to MADD's success in the traffic safety arena and the grassroots organization that started the cultural revolution that made drunk driving unacceptable. We ask communities to stand with MADD for #NoMoreVictims. This is a necessary opportunity to raise precious funds for the victim and community services MADD provides. As mentioned, these services are victim advocacy for victims and survivors of drunk and drugged driving crashes, underage drinking prevention education for parents and teens, and working with law enforcement and/or legislators to eliminate impaired driving. MADD California staff and volunteers travel all over the Southern California region, delivering these valuable services, all of which are free of charge to the public. Statewide supporters can support One MADD California via phone or online. Additionally, your program books are digitally available on the site, and the event will continuously be available through this site at MADD California on the Facebook and YouTube pages for your family and friends to view. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.